And I think we are going live. I just want to try to find my own self here. Okay, looks like we're live. In all of the places, I think. I just want to make sure in my own group here, I want to pin the video because I've been having trouble being able to find my own videos for some reason. And I think that might mean other people might be having trouble finding them. Okay, so weird. No, that's not it. Okay, if somebody who is joining us in the Facebook group, if somebody could comment and it'll pop up. There we go. So I'm going to mark it as an announcement. I guess I could have asked somebody to help me with this ahead of time. And so it will go, hopefully I want to pin it to the top. Let's see, I don't know if it lets me do that. Aha, there we go. Okay, good. All right, so welcome everybody who's joining us. I didn't give a whole lot of notice about this. I just gave a couple days notice. So you might not know what this is all about, but this is one of my favorite things to do. I do this a couple of times a year, and I call this gathering an intimate heart roundtable gathering because I'm joining together with some of my favorite people that I refer to as family, the Sacred Soul Alignment family. So I have with me on this call that you guys can't see yet, but you will, several Sacred Soul Alignment practitioners. And let me just turn it to gallery view for a second so we can see everybody who's here. So I have several people who are here with me that are going to be sharing their experiences and answering any questions that you all might have about this class, about the energies, about the modality certification, and just sharing in general. So I just kind of let these gathering events kind of take on their own energy, and everybody sort of just shares what's on their heart. So if you do have any questions about the Sacred Soul Alignment certification, please just put them in the comments and I'll be watching that. And I just want to dive right in. And I just want to I'm going to invite Jen to come on. Jen has 2 little boys and it's dinner time for them. So I'm going to invite Jen to share first, and then I'll just open it up to asking a couple of questions for everybody else. And you guys kind of know how this works. Just hop in when you feel like you really have something that you want to share. So Jen, go ahead and unmute yourself. Let me see if I can do that.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Yes. Hi, Jen.
Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be a part of this. I think this is my first time that I've actually made it on for one of the lives that I was able to get everybody kind of organized. I love this program. I really, really do. I love the Sacred Soul Alignment. I love the Sacred Light, which is I think it's still part of that, the Sacred Light tools that you get with it. I know one of the big questions often is, what about money and time? And for me, that was a huge question. Last summer, almost, I just passed my 1 year. I was really excited. I was like, oh, yeah. COVID had just hit. I was a Reiki master teacher at the time. I was leading very small, very local women's circles. Spirit had been like, you need to go digital. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to do with that. And I started a 3-month program. And I found that I just was lacking my tools. I loved the Reiki, but I was like, where am I going to find this money? Where am I going to find time to do anything else? So I was running a 3-month program. I have full-time, 2 small. I have a 2 and a 4-year-old. And money was tight with COVID. And for me, though, I kept getting signs. I was like, well, maybe I'll just started with your self-guided self-healing program. I was like, I'll start there. And if it feels right, then maybe I'll invest in something. Cause I was like, I'm already a Reiki teacher. Maybe I don't need more tools. And I was just hooked. I was like, I was running like, me, I run these multiple times a day, every single day, everyone everyone I know, my boys, my husband, my mom, like we all live together. I'm like every night, every morning in the middle of it, I wake up, I run them. Um, it is the best decision I ever made to invest in myself. I did the 12-month payment plan so that, I was like, okay, I can manage that. And even in the moments where I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, Spirit was like, we got you. And I think that was one of the biggest things to remember, that when you take that leap of faith and do something that is part of your soul journey, because I use these, actually fun story, I use these tools when I was doing my tattoo. And Alicia knows the story that I was doing one of the tools I actually got during this training. And I am convinced it was so powerful. As it was closing, we set a false alarm off and the entire building had to be evacuated. It was like that intense and so powerful and so beautiful. So not only has it been a massive, powerful tool for me and my journey and the leaps I have done, where have come from in just 1 year to where I am now. I'm leveling up my business. I'm, doing a massive launch, actually asking for my worth. I have a community that I built in a handful of months that's, we're getting ready to break 900 people. I went from only having circles of 4 to 5 women in my city, and I was afraid to do anything bigger than that because I didn't want the world to see me, to I have people in 3 to 4, I think now, continents in the span
Wow.
of a year. And I really attribute a lot of that to really committing to this journey with these tools. I really do use these tools every single day. And so they're an integral part as well of my work with women, that I really do. I love using them specifically for the belief healing and the realignment work that we really do. Like I love digging in and like helping to, I use getting off the karmic wheel a lot. I use the belief healing tools that we get in here on top of 100 other things that I, constantly am sharing. But those are, to me, some of the most powerful ones. And then heal yourself and others, and also claiming, okay, yeah, I'm going to just sit here listing those, but you see my point. Like, I really, for me, when people go, do you need this? I say, maybe you have a lot of tools, but if you feel that yes, you need to take the yes, because, so anyways, that's
Yeah.
my spiel.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
and I
Jen.
make time. It's doable. It really is doable, because I run a household. I run after a toddler. When I did it, I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old that I was with, and I would jump on the calls and I would do it. There was flexibility for me that really gave me the option. I would do the parts I could. I would do the parts on my own during naps, around things. And it was one of those things. I've done other programs that are I have to show up for I would have to block out weekends. And that was a strain. I mean, they were powerful, but that was a strain. But this one really was very easy to work around my schedule and really make it work. So, anywho.
Good. Thank you, Jen. And who has a busier schedule than a mom of 2 toddlers? I think that's the time in our lives where that's the craziest to try to figure out. And you're doing some incredible things. And can I see your tattoo again? Did you
Yeah.
infuse a light into it? I know you used the golden light flame.
Yeah. So I infused, oh gods, what did I do?
So cool.
I started by clearing the space. So I used all of my cleanse and protect, sacred light tools. I cleared the space. I actually asked my tattoo artist, I said, hey, so I'm doing a thing. And so it was all new for him. And I said, can I run energy on you? Do you give me permission? So I did sacred light relationship healings with him, with the ink, between us, so that he could we could have a good channel between us for this powerful work. What else did I do? I did abundance. I did a lot of abundance ones with it. The white flame activation, claiming your voice, a lot of that. Because I infused it with, these are Lithuanian or Baltic ancient power symbols as well. So I was
Love that.
infusing that into that. Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Jen.
Yeah,
And I know
my
you have to
pleasure.
hop off with your boys, but thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. So I love I want to reference Jen's point really quick about being this work being digestible, the class being easy to fit in. And I've actually designed it this way because all of the teaching videos are between 20 to 45 minutes long, and they're in the course. So you're doing the teaching videos in your own time so that you can do them when you're learning best, when you have the time to really focus on that. And then we come together live for the Q&A and the attunements and the healing, so which you can also watch the replay of. So the learning part is really customizable. So thanks for mentioning that, Jen. And so Adri, I'm going to call on Adri because you have a class that you have to hop off onto. And then Kajal is in Australia, I think. So I'm going to allow her to go next, and then we'll kind of open it up. So Adri, welcome.
Hi,
You can
thank you
unmute
so
yourself.
much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And I'm going to mute myself so that my image doesn't pop up and interrupt you. But I'll be here nodding my head, I'm sure, at everything that you're saying.
What can I say about this training? You know, for people out there wondering, like, am I spiritual enough? Am I ready for this? Do I have the tools? I'm telling you, this is just perfect. Just like Jen, I'm a Reiki master. I've been a Reiki master for a long time. And for the longest period of time, I was in the spiritual closet. And I met Alicia, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. We were doing a training together. And then I took her, I think it was a second sacred soul alignment training. So we go way back. And I cannot say that it changed my business, my self-esteem, my spiritual gifts as well. Not only because it really all the tools that you provided us with and the teachings were powerful, but also the way you brought it and offered it to us. It was very bite-sized, and the support you have supported me and a lot of us for so long, for so many years, in so many ways. And another thing I want to mention is how generous you are, because I've been part of other trainings where they want me to pay again to redo trainings or to kind of refresh. And you have always given us access to the upgrades and to the, to the new stuff that comes into your mind and heart and spirit and that you share with us. So it's been amazing. I've done the Sacred Soul Alignment certification and advanced one, the original one. And now again with this one, I was asking this past few months, I've been seeking for something that I know my spirit is ready for. And we talked, I think we even talked when this one was about to start the next day or something like that. And you said something about the energetic apothecary and crystals or something. I don't remember, but I was just like, you just said 3 things I've been asking spirit for. So let me hop in. And I think it was the day before we started. So how I use this in my life and in my practice. I use it on myself. I use it on my son. I use it on my business, my husband's business, my husband as well. In one session, I got a sacred tool. So my modality is called Enlightened Alchemy, because I have different modalities. Over the years, I suffered from chronic back pain for over a decade. I tried to heal myself the conventional way, and I realized I had to address the mental and emotional aspects of myself. So this led to a spiritual journey. So I gathered a whole bunch of spiritual tools and gifts and what I call enlightened alchemy. So through one of the courses that we did together, I got a sacred symbol, which is part of my business. So I've been infusing my online studio with yoga and meditation classes, with sacred soul alignments. When I do chakra work, sacred soul alignments, plus all these other tools. So I make like a combination or like a cocktail or like a mixture of different things, sacred soul alignment based, and my own personal one. Another thing I did with you was a special class. I don't even remember the name, that you guided us to a sacred place to create our own alignments. And that was very powerful. And a couple of experiences as well about the support. one time, the first time we did the sacred soul alignment training, we were asked to kind of work with other, other participants to help us get a like confidence, right? So I'm running this session for this person, and immediately I felt like I needed to crawl out of my skin. And I don't know if you remember this, Alicia. And I just couldn't end the session fast enough. I knew something was completely wrong. And I immediately messaged you, and you're like, Adri, this is what happened. Let me put you here. And you did this work and immediately clean up whatever happened. So it was just transformational. And this most recent one, I'm not big on flu shots and stuff like that because my body doesn't react well to it. But due to COVID and not being able to see my in-laws, they asked us to get vaccinated so we were able to travel and see them. So I got my first vaccination 3 weeks ago. I immediately felt like my energy was going down. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I came home, I did the body system alignments, I did a whole bunch of other stuff, grabbed my crystals. I rested that day, but I can tell you the heaviness, the sleepiness, the the complete, it's almost like somebody was sucking my energy. All that stopped the moment I started running alignments and doing some of the rituals that we already do. So that was amazing. So I know that when I get my second shot this Saturday, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing because it really, really, I could see it. Like my husband saw it. He was driving me and I was like, I cannot stay awake. I just feel horrible. And I came home, did this stuff, and I was just like, oh, nothing happened. I'm good. So anyways, I just cannot say enough about you as a person, as a friend, as a family, as a teacher, as a mentor, as a support system, everything. So I just love you and thank you so much for holding the space for all of us. So anybody wondering, can I make this work? She has amazing payment plans. If you think, am I ready to do this? I'm not spiritual enough. I'm not gifted enough. I don't have time. This program will help you just because the recordings, the manuals, the community is so powerful. So please, if you're thinking about maybe, go ahead and do it because I'm so glad I did.
Thank you, Adri. It's so amazing to be able to have the tools to help ourselves, pull ourselves out of whatever we're going through, whether it's a health issue or an emotional crisis, and to be able to up-level our lives. And I just want to show a couple. I just happen to have these here that I got from you, Adri. So if you guys love crystals, Enlightened Alchemy, isn't this the most amazing Merkaba, Shungite Merkaba? Ever since I got this, it's with me all the time. And then these two, I didn't even know about this crystal, Covalite. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yes.
But I've been so drawn to black crystals lately to protect my energy. So these were perfect timing. And I just happen to have them right here. I wasn't planning that, but thank you.
I'm so excited you love them. I love them too. And I've been drawn to black crystals right now. I think it's for grounding, protecting. But I think we're getting so much information and download and so much is happening that we need to kind of bring the information in and almost like what I like to call embody, right? It's almost like let it be part of our being. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. I think I'm going to have to make a Covalite alignment.
Yes.
For this next, for the energetic apothecary that we're doing in the advanced class.
I almost text you and was like, well, no, I don't want to be one of those. Like, can you please? So
yeah, these are like my best friends right now. I take them everywhere with me. So definitely that's coming. Thank you, Adri. And I know you have a class. So
yes.
thank you for joining.
Guys. And happy 5:55 from 5:05. So this is a powerful time to really manifest your money magic, to be clear about your intentions, use some sacred soul alignments. We just got tuning into some of the amazing ones I'm going to be running during this ritual I'm doing myself. So I cannot wait to tell you how it goes. So
amazing. Have fun. I'm going to do a ritual myself a little bit later.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.
Yay. Okay. So Kajal, I know you have to hop off. So I'm going to invite you to come in and then we'll just take it casually from there. Hello.
Hi, Alicia. Hi, everyone. I think this is my third time. I can't say enough about what this has done for me. I started in October 2019, and I think I was one of the person who paid upfront the whole amount. I usually think about money, but when I did the master class, I just knew the value. I was looking to do something. I felt there was something more. Um, that I needed to do in my life, but I had no idea. And I went, sought some spiritual teachers in local area because I was very averse to digital technology. But yeah, in-person training didn't do anything for me. It raised more doubts. There was no confidence. There was no support. But as soon as I did Alicia's masterclass, I knew this is what I needed to do. And it's just opened up this whole world for me. Everything seems effortless. Everything seems easy. My self-confidence, my spiritual path has become clear for me after doing this masterclass. So I'm forever grateful for that. And one of the things I'll say is because I'm always been very, very different to everyone else around me, I used to feel like I don't belong and I used to try to fit in, which didn't feel right. So, I went through a bit of depression. As soon as I did this, I found my soul family. So, when you use the word family, I was smiling because you meet all these amazing people who are on the same path and they've got so much to teach you. Alicia is always there to guide us, but we learn a lot from each other as well. And yeah, so for that I'm forever grateful. And one thing I wanted to share was, so my mom lives in India, and you know what's happening in India right now. So she called me early morning saying, because everything in India opens at 10:30. It was 5 o'clock her time. She's like, I couldn't sleep, I've been shivering, sore throat, fever, all that stuff. I knew it was COVID. And I used a lot of Alicia's tool, a lot of Kim, her best friend's tool, a lot of my own modality, other work. And my mom's pulled through in 3 days. She's 68. She lives alone and she had no support whatsoever. So I am so very grateful for this. Thank you, Alicia. And thank you, everyone else.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Kajal. It's hard when we're far away from our families and, something's going on. Rashmila lives in India. She's joining us on this call too. And to be able to have tools to, quickly turn something around is just, I'm grateful every day that we have these tools.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, I didn't need to be there. So that's how powerful this work is. And you can be driving, you can be washing your dog, driving, like whatever you're doing, you can still run this energies. That is amazing. So thank you again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for being here. So one of the questions I get a lot is a kind of a two-part question. And that is either from people who don't believe that they have the ability to do this work. They don't think they're a healer, which we all are, or people who have a lot of tools in their toolbox and wonder, how does sacred soul alignment fit into all of that? And I know many of you guys, you have your own modalities. A lot of you guys are Reiki masters, theta healers, many other different types of modalities. Does anybody fit into either one of those categories that you'd like to answer a question around that?
Yeah, I would love to share. Hi, Alicia. It's so wonderful because when I was hearing that so many others were Reiki masters, I now remember that I was also a Reiki master, but I never actually was able to practice Reiki fully. But after I learned sacred soul alignment, I realized all the actual information that was so needed about entities, implants, portals, and how these energies morph into different shapes and forms, and how they can, be their own structures and forms. These things were so new to me, and the way Alicia would explain, after listening to her, I would get my own information about it, and then I would understand with my own life's experience that, oh, so that time, this is what was actually going on for me. So it actually integrated a lot of what I had been through in the past, because I think what Alicia's teaching also does, it did for me so hugely. It opened up my mind to my own divinity,
Mm.
which I'm really happy to say because I was somebody who would not be able to trust myself. But now I'm literally channeling so many sacred energies. I can't even believe it's happening.
Mm.
But it's literally happening. And when I go back to where, I have been able to do all this work, I remember every time that Alicia was there to support me. Our certification group was there, and everyone is so loving and supportive. You really feel held while working through all the study material and then practicing. So the whole experience has been absolutely enriching and so enriching,
Mm.
especially when when I'm able to run energy on my devices like my iPad, my phone, and my laptop. I think it takes it to an entirely different level because I think right now we are in isolation and we are communicating so much with our devices. I feel like those energies are so important, like EMF 5G and uh, all of those kinds of um, healings that Alicia has created, and then the training that she gives. And now that I'm able to channel my own thing, I feel extremely, extremely grateful. And I just feel extremely happy whenever we have these intimate heart gatherings. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you, Rashmila. And I love what you said about, being able to see your own divinity and oh, there, now I can spotlight both of us. Being able to see your own divinity but previously, you had a hard time trusting yourself. And if that's all I
Yeah.
ever do in this work for anyone, that is the thing that it's all about. If each one of us on this planet could see our own divinity and learn to trust ourselves, we would be living in a completely different reality than we are now. So thank you for sharing
Yes,
that, Rashmila. It's always so
absolutely.
it always makes my heart so happy to see you and hear your beautiful voice. And you're doing some amazing work with your art. So thank you. So it's 3:30 in the morning for you. So thank you for being here. And I won't keep you any longer so you can go to sleep.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much. You
Rachel.
are an amazing teacher and mentor.
Oh,
Thank
oh,
you.
thank you. Thank you. Let's see, I have to figure out how to stop the spotlight. Okay, on my video, my thing is all blurry. Hold on. There we go. Okay, good. Is there anybody else that is, in another part of the world that needs to hop off that would like to say something? And if that's you, you can unmute yourself. And just while I'm waiting for that, I just want to say, I think it's pretty evident here so far that we are a worldwide group of people. There are practitioners from every continent except for Antarctica. And I always say someday I'll have my penguin or my polar bear practitioner. But every continent that human beings live on, we cover with sacred soul alignment. And it's just amazing to me how that has happened, because I never set out in my life to create this momentum and this ripple effect. I didn't know that I was going to be doing this. If you told me 10 years ago this is what my life would look like and I would be doing, I wouldn't have believed you. And it's not, yes, I channeled this modality, I'm passing it on, but it's not just me, it's 500 other people that are creating this ripple effect in the world. And it just kind of struck me just now how global this really is, looking at all of you and hearing from all of you in 3:30 in the morning in India, and Kajal in Australia, and Jen living on the east coast of the United States. So, and there's many more to come here. So if there's somebody who would like to go next, you can unmute yourself. Otherwise, I'll ask another question.
I can go next.
Okay.
So, I mean, when I'm Reiki master. I'm an Akashic Records practitioner. I've got a whole bunch of different modalities under my belt, and I had been following you, Alicia, for God, probably 5 years easily. And I just kept getting this pull, and it was like, it's time for Sacred Soul Alignments. And I had made this vow to myself that I was okay, I'm not going to do any more certifications. I'm not going to do any more. I'm done for now. Like, it's going to take 6 months break minimum. I can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, you did a masterclass series. And I was like, okay, fine. Okay, fine. And I'm one of those people that I live intuitively now. So when I get that notion, it's like and I want to tell you, if you're on the fence, if it's a money thing, the money will show up. If you're on the masterclass and you find yourself, thinking, wow, this is really going to enhance me. You don't have to be whatever people's definition is in 2021 of a healer or spiritual or whatever label people are slapping on themselves right now. It's for you. I will tell you that whether you need a payment plan, whether you want to pay the whole thing in full, whatever works for you, if you're on the fence, do it. I run Sacred Soul Alignments every single day. There's not a thing that goes out of my house that if I'm sending gifts, if I'm sending something, if I my mom was here visiting and I ran them on her. I said, can I have permission to be in your energy and do some energy healing work on you? My mother is very Catholic. And she was like, sure, go right ahead. Because she knows me well enough to know. And I think it's part of the thing with us coming into this is that when people are in that space where traditionally they'll say, oh, well, that's, woo woo, or that's not, it's, religious teaching traditionally, speaking as someone who's a recovering Catholic. And if you're a Catholic, I'm not trying to disparage anybody, but that's my experience. But the thing is when we know people, each of you has people around you that are like, oh, I would never touch that. I would never work with entities. I would never, ew, oh God. But the thing is they know you and they trust you. So when you're bringing it in and they're like, oh, you're changing your life. And like my family has seen me change dramatically. As a real life example, I have worn a mask maybe 10 times through this entire year and a half because I can't wear a mask because I'm trauma impacted. And as much as I enjoy jokingly saying that, all the things that come with wearing a mask, I wore one twice, like at the very beginning of this whole thing, thinking it's no big deal, not realizing all the things that were still there from my trauma. So I run white seamless suit, cleanse and protect. I ground myself. I do sovereignty continuously. I run confidence on myself. I run them usually in morning, noon, and evening, just for my own, to be doubled up. Anytime I go out in public, so that the intention is like, I'm not going to ask you why you're wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. I'm not here to disparage anybody. Same thing with my opinions on the vaccination. Can't get it, but don't have an issue. That's your thing. You do you. But also in the space of like, you're coming from a place of love. You're coming from a place of joy doing this. So anything that, like when I did Christmas gifts for people this year, when I do birthday gifts, when I do anything, anything that you're already certified in, whether it's Reiki Master, Akashic Records, it just amplifies it. I am shifting my entire business to greater incorporate Sacred Soul Alignments at this point, because I just got to a point where it was like this giant push about a month ago, like rewrite all of your programs, up level all of your pricing, and include Sacred Soul Alignments in everything, because people need this, because you can do even faster, and it just amplifies everything. To give you real life examples, I have 2 cats, and they are like, oh my God, with each other. Like, it drives me crazy. They are constantly fighting with each other. There's claws near eyes. There's all kinds of craziness that I just can't even watch it. I don't want to see it. The other night I was doing yoga, and Raphael, my younger one, who's definitely the more adventurous one, comes sauntering in while I'm doing downward dog, and his whole right eye is like colorful. And I drop out of the pose to go, what's wrong with your face? And I immediately just held him and said, and ran pain body, ran virus, ran bacteria. And the space of the time, the minute or so that it took me to get back into downward dog, his face went from like red and, oh my God, am I going to have to go to the vet, to nothing.
Oh my gosh, that's
In the
amazing.
space of under a minute. And I was like, oh, perfect. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good now. But that's how fast. And the thing is too, is one of the things that I realized is that there's sometimes when, you know, there's something times in life when you have to believe in a thing in order for it to work.
Right.
In this case, the energy is so powerful. And again, you still have to be asking people if you can be in their energy, of course, but they can be in a space of like, like my mom was like, I trust you to do whatever you're going to do. And it worked. So
yeah, right. Without that her belief in it necessarily. So that and I love your gift idea. Infusing alignments with your gifts, because people can really feel it when they're around something that's activated with it.
yes, it's so awesome. So I just, thank you so much for all that you do and all that you are. And to piggyback on what a couple other people said, you are beyond generous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really believe in giving support to people when they're on this journey, because for one reason, I, didn't have that support myself, and many times in many classes, and I've seen what can happen in a spiritual healing crisis, and I don't want anybody in my classes having to experience what I have experienced in the past. So thank you, Jill. It's always good to see you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now I have to figure out the spotlight thing. Let's see. Okay, good. Okay. So yeah, like totally versatile, infusing your gifts with alignments. Everything in my house is infused with alignments. And everybody who comes into my house is like, oh, the energy in here is so great. And I know that that's why. It's not because of the material things that I have in my house. It's because of the energy that's everywhere. And it's everywhere that I go, because I'm constantly running the energy. So let's see. I would love to hear from somebody about what work are you doing in the world with alignments, and is there any particular story that anybody would like to share about something that's happened in your life or in the lives of your family or with clients that you're doing this work with? And you can unmute yourselves if you would
I'd like to answer to that, if I could.
Good. Celia, I'm going to add a spotlight for you. Good. Hello.
Hello. I'm just so excited with all the results I've had. For myself, I experienced a lot of trauma as a child. And in the span of 3 months, I moved myself forward from major triggers all the time, from people to not having any triggers at all, working on myself. And then from there, I started working with other people. And one in particular is working with a child with autism, and seeing him go from having a verbal of 1 or 2 words like, yeah, no, to his mom now complains he won't be quiet because he talks so much. And she goes, do you have an alignment for that? And I said, no, you can't take it back now. And his school he was like 4 years behind. He's almost caught up to his peers. He's taking stories and hearing them and then recreating drawings and then orchestrating them for you. They're just blown away. And that was after 3 sessions. And his behavior has calmed down. He's not as angry. He's cooperative. And of course, because of that, he's taking in what's going on around him. And another incident was with someone with dementia. And a lot of people that get dementia, I unfortunately know a few people, they get angry and irritated because their world is falling apart. And what happened was it brought them up to this calm. They're saying like they're happier, they've got less anxiety. And their wife was saying he's remembering more. And she's just blown away. And she's actually booked a cruise, hoping it's going to open up. but she was no way she wasn't going to go on one because of where he was deteriorating. So, and just seeing that, and another, I do mediumship for people, and I had done it for a lady who had lost a son in about 6 weeks or 3 weeks prior, and she was devastated. And at the end of the call, and being an empath, I was just, all I want to do is help her. And I said, I know this might sound strange, but I do healing, and could I run an alignment for you? And I was scared to do too much because she might think I'm nuts. Is she going to take this? I didn't know where she was spiritually. I didn't really know her. She was from somebody else. I ran one alignment for her, the rose alignment, just to help bring and she had said she couldn't function. She was so much in grief, so much tears, she could not function. Within 2 days, she wrote me back and said, I want you to continue doing my mediumship. I can now function. I'm back to work. There was one alignment. I was just so blown away. I was like, what? You know, like, you throw this out there to talk about your course. Because of everything I had been through, I had also sustained a brain injury and found taking courses just overwhelming. It was just coming at me from people. I would drop out before I'd even get started. Where with yours, because of the level, the way you prepared us and gave us bits, okay, learn this week, and then the Q&A, and then being able to practice with peers in a safe environment, I just took off with it. I'm able to go back and look at stuff and take in more again, because you did say would take a lot in the first few months. And I had to use your alignment because I got carried away and took too many.
Great.
Let's do 4 months and 2 days. Because I was so excited about it, right? I was like, give me more. And I'm like buzzing. Okay, I know there's alignment in there for this.
I can relate to that. I want it all at once.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I cannot get over the amount you give is beyond any course I've ever taken. Your support to us is more like walking, and I'm actually older than you, so just walking with a mother who's got these little ducklings and going, come along. You're not going to be left by the wayside. You got a problem. I mean, I've asked you on lives, hey, what can I do with this person? And you're like, boom, boom, boom. It's not, no, this is the wrong time. You can't be asking me this question. It's like, no, you're just kind and considerate and embracing, and it just makes it so much easier. I don't feel like an idiot, asking the wrong question or getting this wrong. I feel like, no, I'm supported, and I recommend this to anybody. So that's that's my spiel.
Thank you so much. And that's a couple of amazing stories that you told there. We can see a huge dramatic shift in an instant like that, like what you experienced with the rose alignment. And it's always such a beautiful thing. And you shared something at the beginning that I just want to go back to real quick, to make a point of this just for everybody here and everybody that's listening. You said you started with working on your own trauma, and then you started working with other people. And it can be such a powerful thing to work, and we do not have to be, healed before we're working with other people. That's absolutely not true. But the more that we can clean up our own trauma, the more we're going to want to do this work with other people, because first of all, we see, that's how I started getting into healing work, is I had help clearing up some pretty serious trauma. And when we do that, when we have that opportunity to clear our own trauma that way, then we want to work with other people because we know what a difference it makes. And we also don't get so drained by working with other people because our own trauma is not getting triggered by every single person that it's getting reflected back to. So that's amazing that you started with that. And thank you so much for sharing that with us, Cecilia. I'm going to unspotlight you. Let's see. There we go. And my camera keeps getting fuzzy. That's weird. Okay. Let me see. I see some comments in here. Angela Maria, you have to hop off soon, so go ahead and unmute yourself. And I'll
Hi.
spotlight you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you for being here.
I'm going to be quick.
Okay.
But I've just felt called to do this. And I would say that a year ago, before I started Sacred Soul Alignment, I would never have pushed myself in front like this. So just believe me, it's not easy. But anyone who's watching this who feels called for this is here for a reason. It's spirit calling you to do this. When I heard Jilly say she'd been watching you for 5 years, well, I kind of watched you for an hour, and that's like, oh my gosh, I felt it through my body. And I did it with a friend who said, you've got to do this. And we both did it with this.
Yes.
We had no money, going, okay. I was more reticent. She was more like gung-ho. She had less money than me. And it just worked out. You know, we did a 12-month payment plan. And I realized as I'm listening that fear is immobilizing. It stops you. Fear is, if I may say, that's what I'm feeling a lot. There's fear in nearly every part of society, but I'm feeling it in this call as well. Whether it's fear of change, fear of financial poverty, fear of actually opening up, blossoming, because I felt a butterfly emerging while I was doing this. And it was slow, because I'm very slow to realize what's happening. I just go with the flow and then realize, everything's different. And your perception is different. All the old stuff still comes up, but you realize while you're doing this, whether you do it for any other reason other than yourself, it is so important just to know that there's before and there's after, like weight loss. You see the before and after, you feel it on an energetic level and spiritually, that you cross the threshold of fear and look it in the face and go, ha ha, it's that I can look back now in retrospect and go, wow, I actually did it. I did it on faith, and I did it because I was called to do it. And I can tell you it's a stepping stone, because it opens up the field so much. You see what's coming in. What was hidden before is now open. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Very profound. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that. Let me see. I should have, next time I do this, I'm going to have somebody helping me with the spotlight thing. But you said a couple of really important things there. And what I want to spotlight is the fear, because we all, when something is being presented to us that's going to create change in our lives, we're gonna have fear. And a lot of times we can translate that fear into, people, the biggest thing that people say is a challenge oftentimes to knowing if they can sign up for this class is the financial investment. And I have definitely felt that way in my life many times. But a lot of times we think the fear is about money when it's really not. It's really about something else. And that's not to say, for those who literally, it is about money, not to discredit that, because that is a real thing. But a lot of times we're like, oh, I can't afford that, or I don't have time for that, when the actual real issue is something underneath that fear of the investment. And I hear this so often. Oh, I didn't think I could afford it, but you had that 12-month payment plan, which is why I keep that every time my business manager or my people that I work with tell me to stop doing that 12-month payment plan. But I keep bringing it back every time, because I hear this so often that I didn't think I could do it, but I signed up for that 12-month payment plan and the money just was there every time. And I've had that own experience in my life so many times. And I love your analogy about the weight loss, because it's so true. Like when we're losing weight,
It's
you know,
true.
a pound a week or whatever, we're like, oh, I don't look that different. And then 3 months later, we're like, wow, it's a whole transformation. And it's exactly the same, but even more powerful with transforming ourselves, you know, our natures.
Energetic. Yeah.
Thank you for being
Thank
here
you.
all the way from
Thank you for
Australia.
being for me. Yeah, and everyone, and too, I got to say, everyone in the class as well. It really is a blessing to have people who are going through the same journey. It just feels comforting, you know, because the energy is amalgamates. It grows with that. Thank you.
You're
Everyone.
welcome. Thank you. I'll go ahead and
Bye-bye.
unspotlight. Bye. And that's one of the reasons why I really feel like we're a family, is because it's not just me supporting you guys. You guys are supporting each other. And there's been so many incredible friendships and business partnerships that have come out of this group of people. And it's a collective, you know, this wouldn't be a thing. Sacred Soul Alignment would not be a thing if I was just sitting here doing it by myself. So thank you so much. Okay, Alex, I'm gonna invite you to come in here next.
Hi, Alicia. Can you hear me?
Yes, I just want to spotlight you. Good. Thank you for being here, Alex.
Thank you for having me. And it's great to be with everyone here. And I just want to say for everybody watching this, you're here for a reason. Like the fact that you're watching this, even if it's like a replay or right now, it's for a reason. You're meant to be tuning into this. I actually had no idea who you were, Alicia. I had never seen your lives. I wasn't following you on Facebook, and I didn't even see the masterclass. I think I randomly found you on Google and I saw your page and I was like, this is what I've been asking for. Like I had been wanting to do something like this for so long. And I felt like the universe was kind of planning this next kind of healing phase for me. And I didn't know what it was. I had actually signed up for a completely different intuitive healing program. I already put a payment down to begin it. And I was like, how am I going to do this? I already just put a deposit down and I didn't know your work. And somehow we connected on Messenger and you were like, do you want to talk? And I was like, yeah. And you were so gracious. Do you remember that? And
Yes.
you were so kind, and it was late at night too. You answered all my questions, and I was just like, you were like an angel sent. Like this was my prayer had been answered. Like this is what I know I needed to do, and literally my entire world has shifted and changed, and my work has changed with my clients. I mean, it's like, and it's only really been 7 months. So I'm a newbie here in your world, but I just can't thank you enough. And I also love how you allow us to blend sacred soul alignments into other modalities. I've taken other courses and work with other teachers, and they're somewhat very rigid, and things have to be done. But the fact that it fits so well with so many other things, I love it, and my clients love it. I just finished a series with the client, and she combining the alignments with coaching. She lost 20 pounds, quit smoking, and she wrote a book in a 2-week period, her first draft.
What?
So, I mean, yeah,
That's
I mean, I'm seeing
amazing.
it not only in myself, like the healing taking place, but it's so cool to witness like rapid change in people in a short amount of time. It's just, I'm kind of an awestruck, and I'm still trying to figure it all out, but it's just been an amazing journey.
Amazing. Thank you, Alex. And I love it when I connect with people synchronistically like that, because it's just so clear to me, we were meant to connect and you were meant to be part of this family. And I'm so glad that you are. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then remove the spotlight. Okay, I'm figuring that out. And I love, the majority of practitioners are women. And I get so excited when men join this class because we need more men being part of this family and doing this work. So I actually reached out to Alex individually to ask him to share because I want to really, I think there's about 5 men that are part of our family, and I would love to put that call out there to more men who are doing this spiritual work, to join us as part of our family. So anybody would like to go next? I can keep asking questions, but I feel like you guys are, some of the things I had in mind to ask were, what's your favorite thing about Sacred Soul Alignment? Do you have a favorite alignment? That's hard to choose. Anybody want to
Hi,
go next?
Alicia. I'd like to go next.
Okay, who is this? Let me see.
It's Lou.
Let me try to spotlight you, Lou. Where are you? There you are. Okay, I'm going to take myself off. Thank you. Oh, there, I did it right. Okay, go right ahead,
Hi,
Lou.
Alicia. I
Hello.
want to start by saying, may God bless you. May God bless Kim. May God bless all of your work and our family, our soul family, because this has been miraculous. So I wanted to say I've been practicing for about 15 years, and I lost my mom and my dad back to back. And I felt like I was having some entities and I couldn't get rid of them. And I finally did. It was 6 days, 2 hours a day to get rid of one entity. And the pain that came with it was just unbearable. And all I could think was, how can I make my clients go through that? So I prayed to God and I said, okay, there's got to be a better way. And universe have it, I found your masterclass on Facebook the next day. And I did the second day was what sold me, when you did the healers program with the program to when we were burnt and when we were slaughtered and all of that as healers. And when you did that, all I could see was the entities leaving. I could see the previous lives. I could see it all actually unfolding and just leaving. It was like dissolve, resolve, transform, and it was instant. And it sold me. And all I could say is, how do I study with this person? How do I learn this? And is it even available? And sure enough, at the end of the 4 days, you just came in and said, I have a program. And I went in and did that. And Alicia, I am so grateful, and tears may come because it has taken my practice to a level I never thought was even possible. So I have worked with addictions, suicide, a lot of people. I was in the medical field, so a lot of people with surgeries and stuff that, I cannot tell you how fast the changes are happening. The last case was an addiction case, a teenager, and with 3 sessions, he's off. He's on the mends. He's got a job. He's doing so well. Another teenager, suicidal. Mom came in. Do you think we can help? So we did the program as, just trying. And sure enough, he's now on a high-end job, and he's now getting married. And this is all new to me. I've only been with you for 3 months, but I am so grateful for everything that you have given us, and for your faith in us, and for your kindness, your love, but your generosity. You are a light being, and we need more of you in this world. And I am just so thankful. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
Wow, Lou, thank you. That really touches my heart in a really deep way, everything that you just shared. You're doing some amazingly powerful work out there, and it's so important. I have a daughter who's going to be 16 tomorrow, and our kids are struggling in this world right now, and we need we need the tools to help them. And thank you for being one of those people that are doing that out there in the world. And thank you so much for sharing your experiences. I have goosebumps the whole time that you were talking. It's powerful work. Okay. I always get emotional on these calls, but I'm just going to invite whoever would like to share something to go next. You can unmute yourself.
I'd like to go. It's Sandra.
All right, I'm going to spotlight you. Hello.
Hello. So I found Alicia in 2017, and I think it was the second SSA round, and it transformed my life in so many ways. So many people have covered things I wanted to say. So aside from just saying, if you're considering this, go for it, and you will not be sorry. She's an amazing teacher and mentor. But I want to talk about the personal healing that comes with this. So for me, I was really afraid of my power. I had a really bad psychic attack, and it made me turn everything off. Like I shut down spiritually. And I found Alicia as I was just ready to come back out, ready to, put my toes back in the water of spirituality. And what SSA did is it gave me this confidence that I didn't have before. I was able to work on myself, and then I was able to help others. And that is such an important part of this course, is how much healing you get for yourself. It is absolutely amazing, transformational. A lot of us struggle with being seen and being heard in this life. And after doing Sacred Soul Alignment, I was so ready to step out there. And I had a business, but I never did lives. I never went live. I didn't want to be seen. I was just writing everything. And after doing SSA, I started going live. I started showing my face and really allowing myself to be seen authentically. So I just wanted to say, if this is on your heart to do it, because you will in no way be sorry, and it will change your life. And I love you, Alicia.
Thank you. I love you too. And I'm so glad that you did jump in and, clear the stuff that we all have that was keeping you from wanting to be visible, because you're doing such amazingly powerful and very important work in the world. So thank you for being a part of this journey with me. I'm going to go ahead and remove the spotlight. Okay. Good. I'm not seeing anybody asking to go next. So I'm going to just open it up. Whoever would like to share. Okay. Nalini, yay. I don't think have you done a roundtable before? I don't know if you have.
No, I did the group healing
Yes.
last year. That was phenomenal. I recommend anybody to get in on that. You can find it. But to kind of join in with what Sandra was saying, same thing. I was in your second round way back when, and it's true, like the healing that happens to yourself is quite astounding. Just I went from being kind of a super fast-paced, kind of stressed, anxiety, fearful, especially around money and abundance. And what happened over time was just my well-being just, it kept expanding and expanding and expanding as these layers are peeled. And the layers are belief systems, basically. As these belief systems get peeled, like layer after layer after layer. And so that's like incredible right there for the healing that happens within yourself. But then when you can see it happening in other people's lives too, it brings tears to my eyes. I've had people reach out that needed physical healing, or they were afraid of like a cancer happening in their area of their body. Someone else reached out with like pain in their body. And it's just amazing how it's just after like less than an hour on the phone or on the video call, the pain's gone. And not only that, but the other stuff that came through, like the information was so spot on to what she could relate to instantly. It was like a sign for her. And then other people that I've worked with, what were like needed healing around taking their next step in life that they'd really wanted to take. And just the before, someone mentioned the before and after. It's like just the lightness of being, that I get to witness in myself and helping other people with this. And I mean, I just don't know what to say. And yes, your generosity, I'm just always astounded by it. And your sweetness, your wisdom. And speaking of wisdom, another thing that I've noticed over the years of doing this work and other work, like all of the tools that I use them all together. It's like if you have a recipe, there's several ingredients to make your dish. It's like, with your healing, you can use more than one modality. But what happens is your intuition does increase and expand naturally. And the thing is you realize it's always been there, but trust it, because all of these layers of beliefs have been peeled away and dissolved. So you learn how to trust, because some people will say, like, well, my intuition's not as good as somebody else's. How am I going to know what to run? You'll know. You'll know. Yeah. And your trust in yourself, and what someone else had mentioned earlier about, just being in your divinity, it's the most, precious experience that you can give to yourself, and then that you can share and give with others too. So many people are benefiting from this. Someone had asked in one of the threads, I think on your business page, about will these alignments help members of the family as well as oneself? And yes, I mean, the healing goes 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. So it's like the healing takes place in our in this lifetime, in this bloodline, in this DNA, in the cells of our body, in past lives, future lives, like I said, generations forward and backwards. So there's a lot of people that just naturally are going to benefit from any healing that you do on yourself or for anybody else. So another thing too, I just want to throw this out there, that so I joined in the second class, I think with Sandra, I believe 2017. And I think I've repeated it every time since. So I think I'm going to be going into my 10th round with you.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
What a difference between then and now.
Well, what's happened is, talk about integration, because I always hear something new. And I think it's because I've changed too. Yes. So it's like I hear things on a deeper level. I don't know. But and what happens is, it's like I feel like by doing that, by having that going on and meeting with, with the group, the new group and the other joiners, is it just keeps it incorporated and integrated in my life. So it's wonderful having it present. It's like a presence when your course is running,
Amazing.
I'm just so appreciative. I'm so appreciative.
I am so appreciative that you're in this community, in this family, and it's always good to see you. And I love what you said about the lightness of being.
Yeah.
Because it's so true. You know, it's so true that we can go through a heavy time on this planet that we've been in for a while now, and actually really maintain that lightness of being on the inside. And
Yeah.
actually then we're shining that light out, and that's how we're changing the human collective. I strongly believe that. So
Yeah.
thank you for being part of that, and thank you for being on here and
Yeah.
sharing, Nalini.
It's with pleasure, believe me. I love
Oh,
you.
love you. Okay, I love that. 10 times you will have gone through. I didn't even know that I don't even know how many times I've taught. So that's funny. I love that a lot. And a lot of people come through over and over again, and it's amazing to see that, you know, to see the same faces over and over again, and that's what part of the strength of that family that I keep referring to is that we really are, you know, we want to hang out together, and I love hanging out with you guys. And so thank you all. Okay, so I am going to I'm not seeing anybody asking me to come next, so I'm just going to continue keeping the floor open for whoever would like to share.
I'll go, Alicia. I'll go.
Good.
Yeah.
Allison,
Hi.
I'll let you. Haven't seen you for a bit of time. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. I first took Alicia's class in 2017, and I've been doing primarily a modality that I learned a long time ago, kind of like Reiki. So I've been very involved in different kinds of healing. I have a master's degree in divinity. And one of the things that I wanted to say is that I was training as a chaplain at University of California at San Francisco in like 2008, I think. It's a training hospital. It's a teaching hospital. And when I think back on all the visits that I made with people and trying to be supportive of people, spiritually supportive in whatever way was important for people, you know, at the time, I just wish, I mean, the one thing I really want to say is I really wish I had the knowledge and the tools that you offer to share with people in that kind of setting. And I still now I know people that do that kind of work, and I really think that's I just wish that I hope that this modality is something that continues to grow, because there's a huge need in that kind of setting that we really haven't talked about so far.
Yes, I agree.
And then I also just want to talk about your own personal generosity. You've just been so profoundly available to me when I needed you one time when my daughter has epilepsy and she had a seizure, and I emailed you a question and you said, I'll just do some work on her. And that was very, very generous of you. So to the people that are wondering, you know, should you sign up? Should you find a way to get a payment plan? As other people have said, the money will show up, and you're so very generous. And it's just the one other thing I really want to say is that your sacred soul alignment, the whole system is really like a language. It's a whole lexicon of healing tools that is much broader than anything I've ever been exposed to or learned about. And I guess that's really what I want to say. It's really, really very powerful, and take advantage of it, and you will grow.
Thank you, Allison. I love that description. It's language. That's really true. It is like a language. Energy is language. And this time around in level 1, I was talking about this in my advanced class today. I've got so much coming in right now. I don't know if it's because of the recent, you know, health crisis where I had that emergency surgery and almost died like a month ago, and I was off work for a month, and it gave the space for for things to come through, but there's so much coming through right now. Every time I sit down to work on a class, on a class for a module, more alignments keep coming in. So that language is growing really rapidly, and there's going to be a lot of new alignments in level 1 that I haven't even talked about to anybody yet.
It's
So
it's a very intense time. And, I haven't even talked about, I had another business that I was running that I used the Sacred Soul alignments to infuse our products when they were being looked at by a major retailer, and they bought our products, and I infused them with a whole bunch of interesting alignments, and our business really took off after using. So I've just used alignments in so many different ways, and it's just been amazing.
Love that. I remember when we did that. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing so much, Allison. It's good to see you as always. And I'm getting to be a pro at this spotlight thing. Okay, so who would like to go next? Anybody else want to share?
Can I go? Hi, can I go next?
Yes. Francis, let me.
Yes.
All right, there we go. Hello, good to see you.
Hi, Alicia. It's so nice to finally be able to catch you live. So this is my first ever live with you and first ever roundtable discussion. I found you 3 months ago on Facebook, when just around the time when I was having a crisis of faith, and I was opening up my mind to all these other possibilities and truths. And then around this time, I had a tarot reading and said that I was a healer, but true enough, I also work as a registered nurse by profession. But all of this stuff is new to me. I've only ever been familiar with physical healing in our 3D world. And just around the time when I looked for something more, I discovered you, and I was so excited when I saw this healing modality that you could do from anywhere, anytime. And you did say that Sacred Soul alignments had all the pieces of the puzzle. So I was really excited when I saw that you had alignments for emotions, for the physical body, for our spirit. And I'm not doing this professionally yet because this is all just very new to me. But the way I use Sacred Soul alignments is I use the Luna alignment for making moon water, and I infuse it with crystals as well. And I've started learning tarot. So it's very nice to combine Sacred Soul alignments with other healing modalities. And I run the blood pressure alignment for my husband who's hypertensive, and the white seamless suit just before we all go to work and school. And it's been working really well, just like what the others say. They feel like they don't take on other people's negative energy. And energy is all very new to me, but like what you said before in one of the Q&As, that even if you don't really feel energy, like people who are psychics and who have their third eye really open, it's the effects in your life. And this is something that I use every day, and I can see my life has really changed. I'm in a better place mentally and emotionally, so I can't help but thank you enough.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's so great to have you on here. And I hope that you're able to come through the live class, because you've just come through the self-study. So I hope you can come and join us for some of the live calls that start at the end of this month.
Yes, so I come all the way from New Zealand. It's 11:23 now, and I'm just gonna be working an afternoon shift in half an hour. But I really think that it's destiny or divine timing that I found you just at the right time when you're going into all of this live again. And I just want to thank you so much for all the personal support that you give each and every one of us. And your schedule must be really overflowing, but it's a miracle that you find the time for all of us. And I'm so really thankful for having found you and being one of my mentors on this journey. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Francis. And thank you for being part of our family.
Yeah, thank you as well.
You're welcome. Okay, good. I love this. This is so fun for me. Who else would like to share?
Can I? It's Bobby Jeff. Can I jump in?
Yes. Where are you? There you are.
I'm outside. I've been outside almost all day. It's been amazing. It's my new office today. the weather changed, and I'm a Cali girl, so I'm in the Midwest, and it's not snowing. I'm so excited. So one of the things that I really was excited to share last time we did this. Can you hear me okay? Because I have the phone kind of propped. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Perfect. Yes.
Perfect. All right. So last time I had shared that I'd come from a place of like severe PTSD, had gone into this veteran program and was kind of just like, I'd released a lot out of my heart. And then I was like, okay, what's next? I came into your program. So it's for a year and a half now, I guess. I'm not sure. It was the program around, it was before COVID. So the October is when I went through the cohort, and then I found you randomly. I always say randomly. Right. Okay. So fast forward to now, and what I'm doing now is what I wanted to share, because so I'm doing events. And when I say events, these are your typical like metaphysical fairs, body, mind, spirit expos, the whole deal. And when I first started kind of reaching out into this event space, it was, let's just get out there. We can see people in person now. This is amazing. And I went to an intuitive school in San Diego. I've always been intuitive. I used to do readings for free for the school. So I was like, oh, this is a good fit. Most people, they're like, oh, we have our healers. You're not Reiki, are you? We already have one of those. Like it's constant. Every time I'm reaching out, it's like, we already have Reiki healers. And I'm like, that's not what I do. So, and I always say I'm certified in a specialty healing modality. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to come in as a reader, right? So this is where the fun and the magic is really happening. So I go in and I have my little reader booth, and people are sitting down. I seem to attract the type of people I want to work with. A lot of trauma, or they're, ready to up level, next step. Am I in a good relationship? Your usual like intuitive reader, tarot kind of questions. I don't do tarot. I do straight energetic reading and connect. So when I sit there and I I always connect with the color. I connect with the color, and then it's like, since I've been in the space of sacred soul alignment, there is a way of reading now I have never experienced. And I don't know how long I've been reading, 2008, 9, where I was doing it, actually went through the school. And it's amazing. I mean, I can see these people like they are sitting in front of me, but my eyes are closed, and they're just showing me all these things. They're pointing at things. They're showing me scenes. They're showing me who they are, right? And what, through their divine self, they're showing me what they really need their healing on, what the reading's really about. They might ask a question, and by the end of the reading, it's something totally different that we've gone through. Mm-hmm. This is what I wanted to share. And I might cry because it's so amazing. All the alignments are amazing. I'm in all the advanced classes, Heart of Creation alone. I go there as a reader, and sometimes I'm like, hey, can I run some alignments? Last event, we had just got attuned for True Happiness. I ran True Happiness on every single person that sat down in front of me. Whether they, I always ask for permission, but whether they knew all the alignments or not, I was running these alignments, the trauma healing, the clearing, all the things. Someone will sit down, and I'm like, and I'm looking at them, and I can feel it. They need it. They need it so much. And I'm like, all right, what we're going to do, if it's okay with you, is I'm just going to ask you to drop into your heart space, right? And you can just see it at they're just, most of the time they're silent because they can feel how strong this energy is. I've had people where I'm like, I think you've experienced something. If I'm wrong, it's okay. You don't have to talk about it. But if you're okay to validate it, then we can start clearing it. And literally they'll just do the silent, and I'll ask someone to drop into their heart space. And, I start closing my eyes. I start connecting, from above and below, and bringing out, and I put them in their rose gold light of healing and their love and their compassion. And I'm sharing all the things that we share when we run the Heart of Creation. And I'm like, you're loved here. You're so safe. This is you. Just sit in the energy. And I get quiet. I know, as chatty as I am, I get quiet. And then I'll open my eyes, and like the tears are just streaming down these people's faces. They're so And I remember 2 years ago when I went through that day that I released my heart to open it up, and just how it felt, that release to open yourself up to your own healing, because really they're healing themselves in this moment. Even though we're facilitating, we're bringing the energies in. And usually they will have their hand on their heart when I open my eyes, and I started bringing tissues now to the events. But I tell people, I know it's amazing. And I tell people, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can feel the energy that I'm sharing right now, of all these healings that I'm doing. And literally they walked in there with their, like, I'll just get a 15-20 minute little, hey, like,
they don't know what they're in for.
What are my next steps? And I always make the joke, like, I get a lot of people like, oh, just do general. Let's just do a general. And I'm always like, okay, like, amongst healers, we know you open that door. And I will say that the minute I start running alignments, and I always say I do intuitive guidance readings sprinkled with sacred soul alignments, because we just sprinkle that in, and it's in that 20 minutes that I'm sitting with that person, they have literally released and changed so much at such a soul heart space level. Like, I don't care if one person sat down on my chair and I felt, I don't necessarily have to cry, but just feeling that release or feeling that, like, exchange is completely worth anything that's ever been invested in any of your programs. So I just wanted to share that's what I'm doing now, and I've taken it to events, and it's been so up-leveling for my own healing space as well. So thank you.
That's beautiful, Bobby Joe. Thank you for sharing that. And what a beautiful gift that you're giving to all those people. And I love that Sacred Soul Alignment is at events now. That's beautiful. Thank you, Bobby Joe. I think you're frozen. Okay, I'm going to remove the spotlight. And I keep getting, I don't know what's going on with my camera. Okay. As I said, I love this. So a few people that we haven't heard from, if anybody wants to jump in, feel free.
I'll come on.
Okay, Martha, I think that was you.
Yes.
Let's see, where are you? That's weird.
I'm on here somewhere.
There's the iPhone.
Oh, okay, that's why. I recognize your voice, but I'm like, what? Okay, add spotlight. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna take myself off. You've got the floor.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'm glad to be here. It's been fascinating to hear what everyone is sharing. The Sacred Soul alignments they're amazing. And what I love about it is how creative your modality is, that you can mix and match alignments. And you've taught us how to make cocktails, basically, maybe in a sense, make one single alignment out of several. And there's something I've done for several years now that has been so helpful to me. I have a reason to travel a couple of times a month. I'm in Mississippi, and I take an elder relative to Louisiana to doctors. And when we're on the highway and driving on the interstate, I like to you've taught us how to infuse alignments into objects and things, but I'll infuse highest intentions into my path and the road that I take during the day. And I can bring in other alignments into that, and as well as I have another modality where I'll bring in love and harmony as well. And Alicia, I swear that it'll be a long day, and we don't get home until late at night. And there's a lot of driving on the interstate. I'm with an elder relative that I want to be mindful while I'm driving, and it's just like being in sync. The traffic and going in and out of appointments and places, and it all just flows together. So I just wanted to share that. I love the creativity of it, and anything you need help with, the modality it'll meet you where you are. It can help with any emotional support, physical issues, anything mental, or any stress you're trying to deal with. it's just been wonderful. And thank you for supporting us and helping us work with the modality.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Thank you, Martha. And I love that idea of setting up yourself on a trip. I do that too, and it
Yeah.
really makes a big difference. I always like infuse my car with, I like
Yeah.
infusing the road, though. I haven't done that. That's a good idea.
I kind of word it my path and the road. So wherever I'm walking between places, and also I set an intention that I'll receive love and support from the universe, from Gaia, and from Source, and for anyone that I encounter on my path or the road that day as well.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Okay. And I'm blurry again. Weird. Okay. Anybody else have
I'll go next.
Okay. Who is that? Let's see. I can't
That's me.
see. Lucia?
Yes.
Okay. Spotlight. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to take myself off and give you the whole floor by yourself. Oh, oops. Yes, I did that right. Okay. Thank you, Lucia.
I have found, just by using the alignments that we've learned through the class and all that, healing myself. And when you say it helps heal those generations in front of us and behind us, I actually got to see that happen in front of my eyes. I have my daughter and her boyfriend who live with me, and I take care of my grandkids a lot. And I noticed as I was healing more and more and more and becoming more peaceful, lighter during the day, I noticed my daughter's boyfriend would become more peaceful during the day. He wouldn't be so anxious all day long. He wouldn't start out his day with such a bad attitude. He would be more pleasant. And it was really neat to see that, just that validation that, what you're doing for yourself is actually really working also in the same space with everybody around you. And how that touches everybody else and helps everybody else. It was just like, wow, okay, I have truly found something that energetically works and has shown me how it energetically works. And it can actually, and it just, it gets that fire going in you. I'm creative and I've been starting to put some things together, and I'm excited to start infusing my creations with the alignments. I love the chakra series. The chakras have always interested me more so, not sure why, but using the alignments that you have brought to us in my morning routine with my meditation, amazing, just amazing. And again, like everybody else has said, you are an amazing teacher and a mentor, beautiful soul, so giving. And anybody, I was nervous when I first started because I was like, most people with COVID, it's like, where am I going to get the money? And I had asked, or I had inquired to you specifically via Messenger if there was a different payment plan, not a 2-month or a 3-month, and you had brought out the 12-month, and it was what I needed to help me be a little bit more secure. Like, okay, I can do this. And and I'm glad I took the leap. I haven't looked back since then, and I'm looking forward to the new classes and just to continue working with everybody in the groups and you. And it's been an amazing journey, and has helped me out so much in my personal healing. And like I said, what it has brought to fruition in just the people around me.
That's
around
amazing.
me. So thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I noticed you just signed up to become a featured practitioner too. So you're really working on your business too. That's amazing.
Yes, yes. And I appreciate that avenue that you also offer us. So
Yeah, I
thank
can't
you.
see. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do with it. It looks exciting. Thank you for being here and for being part of the Sacred Soul Ailment family. And let's see here. Okay. Whoops. Oh. Okay, good. Have we heard from everybody? I don't think so. Is there anybody else who would like to share anything before we hop off?
Can I jump in? It's Chris.
Yes. Well, let me unmute you. I knew I hadn't heard from you, but I didn't want to put you on the spot.
It's all good. I was eating, so I'm very glad you didn't, because that would have been super embarrassing. Because yeah, it's like way past dinner and I'm like, I'm starving. I'm going grabbing food. So
good. Well, I'm glad you got that food.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm Chris. I know I do not look like somebody that would probably be a spiritual person or a doing healing work or anything like that. There's not many of us running around with purple hair.
I had hair last year, so there may be.
Well, where I'm at, I am the oddity. And that's actually like really cool. That has become like the signature for me. So it works. It's working out. But I have followed you for a couple of years before I finally took the plunge to take your course. Oh God. Okay. I was going to sign up like this time last year. I don't remember like what was going on, but things happened in my life. I couldn't. And I'm like, okay, it's not the right time. And the fall session, October, is when I jumped in of last year. People that are at like trying to figure out money wise if it can work, I had the absolute worst timing for trying to do something financially. We had just gone through the derecho that happened through Iowa and Illinois and a couple other states through the Midwest. It's equivalent of, we had equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane that was on land. My house was destroyed.
Oh my goodness.
So me going in was not the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But I knew it was one of those, because I remember I messaged you and I said, I want in. I know that this is the time for me and I have to make it work and just trust that it's going to work.
Yeah.
And it did. And you gave me the 12-month payment plan. You have worked with me so much on trying to make sure that I can do it. It's blessed. Thank you. I owe you so much for that. So thank you.
It's my pleasure to have you in this.
Like some others have said, I have other modalities that I know. I am a Reiki master teacher. I also do shamanic work. The shamanic work that I do is not what I call Western shamanism. It's actually the Eastern shamanism that is, for me, it's family-based. It's, we're from Germany and Romania, and this part is from the Romanian branch in my family. Their tribe had their own thing. So now I'm fusing and working all of that together. Back in December, I was told that once I was done with their class, I had to let this person know, because they offered me a guest practitioner space in their shop. That's a metaphysics shop that's out by me. It's incredibly tough market where I'm at to try to get into these places, because they only allow a handful of people to come in, and they look at it as you have to prove yourself. I didn't have to prove anything. She had just seen me come into her store enough and seen that my demeanor, my light, and everything about me had changed. And she's like, what did you do different?
Amazing.
And I told her. And I do every other Saturday now. I'm in the shop. I'm doing readings for people. I'm doing healing work for people. There's times that I'll start with a reading, and this one particular person, she just looked at me and she goes, I need you to stop. And I'm like, okay, I'll stop right now. We don't have to continue any further. And I said, but can I ask you why? And she goes, because I know you need to heal me. She goes, you hit on something that I didn't want to face.
Wow.
And she's like, and you're the person that can fix it. And she had her husband with her, and she looked at her husband and said, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And he went, it's about time you finally got some help with it.
Wow.
And she admitted to me that it was sexual trauma that she had. I knew I could see the trauma. And as I would tell people, it's none of my business what the trauma is. You can show me if you want, you can tell me if you want, but I'm not going to dig to find out what it is. That's
Right.
personal, and that's between you and yourself. If you want to share, by all means. But she had gone and she had started telling people then too. And I didn't realize she was friends with one of the, everybody considers her one of the more elite practitioners in the area. God, I cannot think of his name now off the top of my head. He's a shamanic practitioner who's written a lot of books. And he's done some books and oracle decks with Colette Baron Reed. His name starts with an A, and I'm like completely like spacing on his name.
Knows who he is, but I'm not sure. But I'm sure other people know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, the name just like completely escaped me. But she was one who studied under him for shaman. So she's somebody that's really big in our area. Of everybody wants to go to her because they look at her that she is the end all be all for this part of Iowa. She came to me.
Wow.
She approached me. She found me through Facebook, and she approached me and said, I heard you do amazing healing work. I just had to have a hysterectomy and I'm not dealing with it well. Like, okay, let's fix this.
Wow.
Her thing, I'm trying not to cry. Because she invited me to come to her office space that she works in to do hands-on with her, instead of doing a televisit. And she had tears streaming. She said that when I was starting to release stuff, things that she didn't even realize. And I told her, I said, I knew that there was a relationship that she needed to heal. And so I brought in a relationship healing, and I left it as, there's people that you know that you need to have this healing with. I want you to bring them to your mind and let's heal this. And she said there was two people that she hadn't thought of in about 20 years. And that as soon as I was saying it, they came to her mind. She started remembering all this stuff that she thought she fixed, but never did. Right. And she was saying that she felt a weight being lifted. And then the last part, which to me, just the terminology she used is just so beautiful. She said it's like standing under a shower head or a waterfall, and you're feeling the water falling down on your body. But as this water is taking from the top of her head and moving down, it's like lead weights that she said are almost like coming in droplet forms, falling off of her. And she could feel it starting at the crown and coming and going all the way down through all of her chakras and completely dumping out of her feet. She said in all of her shamanic work that she has done, and work that she's had done on herself by other very well-known practitioners, this is the only time she has ever had the feeling of weightlessness come through.
Amazing. What an amazing image that brings to mind. Good job. That's beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you for I love that. Whew. So yeah, this is powerful. This is powerful stuff, but it doesn't take, years to become a master at this work. It really is, as people have, oops, I didn't mean to replace you. I meant to add myself, but okay. I guess I'm not an expert at this spotlight thing
It's
yet.
all good.
It's powerful work, as those of you who have joined us. So I haven't been looking at how many people are on here, but all of these testimonials that people have shared here with the transformation that you all are creating in your own lives and in the lives of people who are coming to you for that help is incredible. And really we've probably heard 1/10,000th of what's actually happening out there in the world with all of the people that are doing this work, and the ripple effect that it's having is why I'm doing this. It's why I'm doing this work. And it's one of the greatest joys in my life to be able to pass these tools on to people and to create that ripple effect that we all are creating together. But it doesn't take, having to have all of this knowledge and all of these years of learning. You can start doing this work the second week of class. And so if you're feeling called to this, I think everybody has shared. If you're feeling called to this class, we're starting on May 27th. I did delay the class by 2 weeks because when I started with the master class, it was my first dive back into work after the medical traumatic situation that I went through in March. And I realized that my energy was not at full capacity yet. And it's very important to me, as everybody has shared here, like all of the healing work that happens and everything that comes up through this class. I want to make sure that I'm completely at 100% full capacity of my normal self before we go into class. And so I did delay it by 2 weeks. We were supposed to start next week, but we're actually starting on May 27th. So if this is feeling like something that is calling to you on a soul level, on a heart level, this is my invitation to you to join us. And if you have any questions, I'm available for answering those. I can hop on a call. You can ask me over Messenger. And I would love to have you part of our family. And who knows, next time I do this roundtable, I actually will be doing another one because there were so many people that wanted to share, and we don't need to be here for 6 hours. But we'll be doing another one of these on the 24th of, so that's a Monday, the 24th, right here, wherever you're watching this from. But, just think about you being in this class, if this is calling to you. And the next time I teach live, which will be in about 6 months from now, imagine yourself sitting here with all of us and sharing the transformation that's happened in your life and in the lives of your family and the people around you, and with the clients that you're working with if you are doing this work in the world, or maybe even starting a business between now and then that is beginning to support you and your family. I know that I could never have believed that this would be possible for me. Like I said, even 5 years ago, this modality was born at the end of 2016. And since then, about 500 people have come through and become certified. I would have not believed that was in the realm of possibility in 2016 or the beginning of 2017. So I know that more is possible for everyone who's here watching this. So if it's calling to you, this is your invitation, and I hope that you will join us. And thank you to all of the amazing practitioners that have shared. Like I said, this is one of my favorite things ever to do because I love hearing, I get to hear what you guys are doing. I don't always connect with each of you on a regular basis or get to talk to you individually like this. So I love hearing what you're doing and the amazing stories and the incredible ripple effect that you are all individually creating in the world. So thank you so much. And this is all, I never prepare for these calls. I never know what I'm going to say. I don't know what anybody else is going to say. And it's always exactly perfect. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to all of you who joined me to share what you're doing, and to all of you who listened to us for the last 2 hours now. So thank you so much. And I will see all of you very soon. So much love.